welcome to the Utah Business Spotlight. I'm Peter Anthony, and today is going to be an amazing day. First, you got to hit like, you got to hit subscribe, you got to send it to your friends, you got to tell people. If you don't like us, tell more people. But we're bringing attention to Utah businesses, and trust me, every business needs attention. Today's business, one of my favorites. It is a friend of mine, but his business model protects children and families. It's one of the most important things that you can do in this present moment and moving through the future. I'm with James Harrison, my friend Jamie, and his company is idefendhome.com. idefendhome.com. It's a product that you need to know about if you don't. Welcome to Utah Business Spotlight, Jamie.
Thank you.
Great to see you, brother, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool, so cool. How are you?
I've been doing great. Business is good. It's busy. And
yeah, I can
thrilled
imagine.
to see everything you're doing awesome in the world too.
Yeah, we're working it up a storm. The incubator's doing great. Bad Bet Production's doing fantastic, and Club Social's exploding. So we're excited about that. Let's talk about I Defend Home. Man, it's really taking off. It's super, super important. I want to talk about the one thing. So it is ultimately a family cybersecurity veil that goes across all your home, your equipment, your phones, your companies, your bank accounts. It's completely immersive. I think there's a defining factor because it's hands-on, where you can actually call somebody,
right,
a human being in Utah, and actually get some help.
That's exactly
it is not AI-driven yet, right? But it is a human being that's willing to walk you through the process. And for many of us, the process is tedious.
That's right.
But share with me, if you could share the one thing that you wish people knew about your company that would help them understand exactly how to use your product and why you're doing this, what would that be? What would that one thing be?
I think one of the most important awakenings that our customers have is that they can't do it all. Too many people are complacent in their cybersecurity and protecting everything that's important to them in the digital world. And the one thing that they need to know is that there is expert help available. We see a day when every home, every individual, every baby boomer has a cybersecurity service provider. You know who you count on, you know who you trust, and they handle this complicated, difficult stuff to keep you safe in the digital age. So you don't have to become the expert. You just have trusted people who do.
I like that.
That's the big awakening.
So it also leads into our third question. So I'm gonna circle back. Here's how are you getting that message out there? How do we get people to understand the importance of cybersecurity today? Here's, if I were looking at it, I'm saying, one of the things that's important that you said is you're paying for connection, but you're not paying for protection.
Right.
And you need to think of connection and protection. I'm giving you a hint.
Yeah.
Right? Because they rhyme. You need to think of connection and protection as one thing, right? So if I'm grilling a burger, I need a bun and I need the ketchup. It's matter of fact. When I go buy burgers, I buy buns. It needs to become matter of fact. You need connection, but your connection needs protection.
That's right.
And because we're always connected, your car is connected. You're connecting your phone to your car. Your car is then connecting to its own GPS, downloading data that you're not even aware of.
Yep.
Your kids are connecting on their pads, and they're connecting your home and your Wi-Fi. The Roomba, which is probably the most evasive product on the planet, is staying connected to China every single moment. It's uploading its servers. And it's telling people they're not home. This is what time they go to bed. This is the exact layout of their house. This is where there's the most dirt. This is where they never go. Right? If you're going to come in this window because they're never there. It's pretty scary. So I would say, excuse me. connection and protection
Yeah.
need to be simultaneous.
That's right. If you look at the world that we live in, everything is connected now.
Yep.
So you're highlighting some of the key risks that people might face every day. When people connect with us, what are the drivers? Why reach out and seek help in this area, right?
Yeah.
When does somebody wake up and go, I need help? It's usually when something bad happens.
Sure.
When they've become a victim, not just of something as simple as identity theft, which you can recover from, but you may lose some money in the process.
We reached out to you because Steph had her identity
right.
stolen.
But you got to look
you
at your
got-
devices.
yeah.
You got to look at your Wi-Fi network at home. You have to look at your kids' gaming devices.
So from a
you have to look
marketing
at the
standpoint-
connection that everything has in your household or in your business. Everything is connected, and it better be protected.
Yeah. Connection requires protection.
Yeah.
That's how I think now that I'm thinking it through from for this year in 2026, I would say connection requires protection. And that's the theme I would
That's a
run
great
on.
theme.
Connection requires protection. And here's the thing, when we're making that offer simple, because you're selling something that's so complex.
Yeah.
So you've simplified it by saying, okay, cool. You need to be protected. Call us up, we'll connect you.
That's right.
Right? We'll protect you. We'll make all of those connections super simple, super easy, because that's a one thing that you do that's different than everybody else.
Right.
Which is the human connection,
Human connection.
that walks you through the process.
Exactly.
And asks you questions that AI maybe in 10 years will be able to ask, but today AI doesn't have the experience to ask.
Right.
You know, it's going to make it
And
more
we're not going to
complicated.
lean into AI that way as a company, because our commitment is to the connection people to people.
Oh, that's good to know.
So that is really what's driven us for 20 years being in business. Our customers become raving fans. Why? Human connection. That's a huge part of our mission. We want to protect as many people as possible, not just in the state of Utah, but around the country.
What are you
and around
protecting
the
them
world.
from?
Well, there's a number of things. If you were to look at the greatest threats that people face today, and it's going to escalate rapidly as AI continues to get immersed in our life everywhere we go. Privacy is one of the greatest concerns that we have. Like, how do you stop surveillance of everything you do? Right. So
Yeah, it was just the
privacy. Yeah, you talked about bots in your house. Well, get ready.
Yeah.
that game is getting bigger and bigger, and the surveillance of things through smart devices, listening devices, your phone, your kids' gaming,
the remote controls with
the
your
remote
TVs
controls,
are now listening
the TVs
devices.
are listening. Right. So privacy is a big deal. That's one big threat that needs to be addressed and solved. Financial security and safety is another one. Not getting scammed out of everything you're working so hard for. Not having your retirement plan pilfered. Right. You want to protect your financial well-being, and the bad guys, they think it's easy pickings for people who aren't protected, and in fact, it is.
It is
It's
easy pickings.
it's in the billions per year lost by consumers every year.
Yeah.
So even the biggest risk that we're seeing is baby boomers. It's people who are in that 60 to 80 year age range. They're not super technically savvy. They don't want to become super technically savvy. They just want somebody to handle it for them. They're the sitting ducks.
We're looking for and being a baby boomer myself, I'm looking for the done for me process, not the done with me process.
That's right. If I were to say that people who value what we do most, it's people who have become a victim already. They look for immediate help. That's the first area. Second, people who have something to lose.
What's the number one thing they're victimized from? Let's talk about that, and then give me a specific example, if you have one, of one of your clients who just got completely devastated.
Scams and the taking of your money from your bank account is the number one most dangerous thing that's happening right now. Privacy is secondary too. I think privacy is going to become bigger, but we had a client who contacted us and said, I have this message on my screen that says I need to call Microsoft for tech support because my computer's been compromised and I can't use it until I call, right? How many of people have heard that before, right? Savvy people have heard and seen that and understand it, but there are millions and millions of people who freak out at that moment and say, oh my gosh, my computer's been hacked. I better call the number. Well, you know what happens. You know the story. You call the number, they end up taking everything to get into your computer, then they take your bank account. This lady had that happen, and we were in real time talking to her while she was dealing with this situation. We spent almost a full day remotely connected to her computer. She wasn't from Utah. She's from some other state. We spent almost a whole day unwinding the spyware and the malware and the hacker tools that were embedded because she clicked on things.
Yep.
She called and allowed people to remote in. We ended up fixing everything. She didn't lose anything
Wow, that's
in
great.
the process. So we saved her, but she had a phone number to call. She had a team of experts to call, and that was the beauty of it. That's that human connection that's so important. If you
so
don't know who
important.
you would call in that moment, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So she got so thrilled. She sent our technicians a box of cookies and goodies, and all that. She ordered it, had it sent, and like, thank you, you saved my bacon, kind of a thing. And we create raving fans with that human connection and solving problems.
And one of the things I could tell you that we went through was somehow on my wife's phone, because her number at the time was public. I called you, and she noticed that she must have answered one of those things. They snatched her Facebook account, which had a similar password to her other accounts.
Yeah.
Never do that, right? Don't try to use one password for everything, or even similar passwords by adding a 1 or a 2 at the end, or adding the name, right? Don't say Facebook and then password and then Google and then the same password. They know that scam. But they found out, and they wound up in her merchants processing service, and I know we had called your team about it, and they helped walk her through. As much as walking her through, they kept her from jumping off the ledge because she was losing her mind.
That's right.
And what was happening in real time, and this is interesting, they connected to her merchant services a secondary bank, then charged everything through her merchant services, drove it to the secondary bank, so it never went through her bank account.
Wow.
It was going into
That's
another
brilliant.
bank account that she didn't see. And had she not logged on, because I was like, you need to log on. What's going on? She's like, oh my goodness. And she logged on, she saw it, she cut that off and here's the interesting part. We called the service and they wouldn't disconnect the bank account, and we were watching it happen in real time. And luckily enough, because of her law background, she was able to document everything. But they normally would have charged her for all of those.
Yeah.
Because when the
So
person does a
what you
chargeback,
witnessed happening is, if there's a crack in the armor, if they get in one little area of your digital life, they can then spider out and magnify the problem many times over. And that's what most people don't realize. They're complacent with an antivirus product that is on the computer or on the
it's
phone. And
another great.
That's not enough anymore.
No, another great marketing ad is, where is the crack, right? The picture of the person with their finger, right? A little cartoon, right? And we can have AI draw up the cartoon. But it's like, where is the crack in your digital life?
Right.
And all of these cracks are going to sink your ship.
That's
One
what
little
we're
crack.
very good at, and from a marketing standpoint, that's a fabulous way to look at it. We paint this picture for our customers that your home has holes all over it. If you think of locking your front door and your back door, there are so many cracks in your home's foundation digitally that you don't even realize it.
And the only reason I knew about the Roomba, so I forgot who was asked, but it's one of the big AI tech companies, and they said, "Well, what's the scariest thing?" And he said, "The scariest thing in your home right now is a Roomba." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, think about it. It's continuously connected. It goes through your Wi-Fi, and you've given it permission to download all of its information to the mothership."
Yep.
Which means
There are ways to use it safely, but
Yeah.
you've got to know how to do it.
I don't know. I don't have one.
Yeah.
I have
And
I have teenagers. They're vacuuming daily.
Yeah. But
to-
you're highlighting things that people kind of think about in the back of their mind.
yeah.
But what does it take to take action? As a company, we try to put ourselves out there in front of people in those moments, so we can connect with them in that moment of stress. And it's a message thing. It's do you own a Roomba, or do you have an Alexa device in your house?
Right.
Or,
I think if you nail the simplest things, right, and for us, what got us on board was when you told me about the gaming consoles.
Yeah.
And how they come in
right.
through the gaming consoles by making friends with one of your kids on the game. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, you have a gaming console? Oh, you're totally at risk. I'm like, what? Pull the plug. I'm like, you're never playing a game again.
I'll tell you, the thing we've learned about connecting with our customers the most is finding them where they are in their pain point. and then connecting with them at that
Sure.
moment. So, and it's, we have an amazing solution that's all in one. Like every part of your digital life, we literally can protect, and you have a team to help implement it and manage it. But people don't think that way. They don't think about their digital life. They don't think about
No,
all.
and
And what they think is my phone compromised? Why am I getting so many robocalls? What about all these scam text messages? Well, there's a pain point, right? If you can connect at that level, then you open the door up to, hey, did you also realize that you're at risk here and here and here? So when we try to connect with our customers, we connect at the pain point level. Like, what is causing you the greatest concern right now? Let's solve that. Let's take care of that. And then we're going to expand your mind and go, here's how you truly stay safe. This happens with kids all the time. Parents don't understand the threat to kids. We have to connect at the kid threat level.
yeah, and I think as you're growing, idefendhome.com. If you guys haven't checked it out, we'll make sure that there's information for you to check it out. But you have to take advantage of it. And one of the things that I think is important whenever you're marketing is to share your success stories. What is the pain point that they came in? For us, the pain point was a text message through my wife's phone that she answered on her computer, right? So these are little things, opening the wrong email. Now what you're going to start to see is one number off URLs that look like something.
Fake websites.
And we were scammed. I'll tell you a quick scam. This was terrible, terrible. I was in the guitar store with my son and daughter, and we were getting him some musical instruments, and she said she wanted a guitar. I was talking to the owner. His first guitar was a Les Paul. She said, and we said, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool?" And she was like, "Oh, Papa, wouldn't it be cool if I had a Les Paul?" And I said, "I mean, yeah, wouldn't it be cool?"
Wouldn't it be cool?
Right? And then all of a sudden, we're talking about another company called Sam Ash, which I was familiar with from my father being a professional musician. And I was talking about when I was in the Sam Ash in New York City in the late 60s, early 70s as a little tot, looking at the stuff. And that's where I bought my first mobile DJ system. And we're talking and talking and talking. I get home, what pops up on my computer? Sam Ash is going out of business, right? And I say, oh, wow. And what are they selling? Les Pauls.
Yep.
And that they're selling it for an 85% discount. I'm like, oh, I got to buy one. And I bought one. And it was an entirely fake Sam Ash website.
Yep.
I mean, everything was there. Everything was duplicated. We're in a moment where marketing is being used for evil.
Yeah.
People can extrapolate your information, market to you directly. So one of the pieces of suggestion is check your sources. Before you make online purchases that seem too good to be true, they probably aren't true. Check your sources. And that's what I love about iDefend Home. It's an incredible product. You guys are killing it. I know you're out there on the speaking circuit all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to force you to write a book, right? Because we got to start handing out books. You got to market. Always be marketing. A, B, C. Always be closing, and then add an M. Always be marketing. Jamie, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you
it's
for the
great to
time.
connect with you again.
Thank you for the time. It was cool. Everybody, this is Utah Business Spotlight, and your business could be the next one in the spotlight.